Hi, this is Attorney Sharp Raleigh, and we are going to discuss applying for a labor certification for a relative. Many times I get the question from many of our clients. They have a brother or sister and they own a company. They wonder if they can do the PERM labor certification for that person. The truth is that I always tell them it's not recommended, and it's not recommended. Having said that, there are some exceptions to this rule, and since there was a case that just came out, Tyrell Limited, matter of Tyrell Limited, and where they basically, the BALCA define how such a labor certification will be looked upon, and what are the requirements to be met to make this happen. I'm going to go over this quickly and give you an idea what can be done in those cases. So the first question: can an employer who is a relative of an alien apply for PERM labor certification? Under the 20 C.F.R. section 656.10 subsection C8, there is what we call the job opportunity has been and is closely open to any U.S. worker. If you can meet that requirement, then you are able to basically file for your relative. And in order to determine the 20 CFR 656.17 subsection L, they have put some factors that they will consider in order to allow people to ultimately get this labor approved. And often, most of the time, once you put that, the chances are more likely than not it will not be approved. However, like I said, there are exceptions. In order to determine those exceptions, one of the questions they ask: can the alien influence the decision of the labor certification? For example, let's say you have a brother who owns a company, and once the labor certification is filed, as you know, there are steps to be done to file a labor certification, and they're getting resumes. How do they determine that? Can you, as an alien or what we call the employee, basically influence the brother or the sister or the cousin to change their mind? Number two, the relation with the company is how is the alien related to the corporate directors, basically. So further the relation, better it might be. For example, a far cousin might do the trick, but it's not still complete because you still need to meet the other factors. However, closer the relationship, more difficult it is and how much influence it will be on the case. Number three, who is the founder of the company? That's very important too. Let's say your cousin or your brother or your sister is the founder of the company, then there might be undue influence that will actually side with the person who is being the alien for whom the case is being applied for, and that will actually cause issues. So that's why they are looking at those factors, and those factors are basically just a guideline. They are not strict, but they are strict, but you have to ownership of the company, of course, who owns the company, because you can be a founder but no longer own the company also, and that will determine who is really can influence the decision on making this happen for the alien. So the idea is to make sure that U.S. workers have an opportunity to apply for this job, and not a job that is just tailor-made to give the alien, which is a new employee on PERM, and a possibility to get the green card. Involvement in the company, and how much is the involvement of that person who is a relative, who is the owner, who's a founder, and how much influence basically is there. If he's just, for example, a passive shareholder and things like that, the chances are more likely than not you might be able to get the labor certified because they don't have that much influence. And also who is on the board, of course, who are the people on the board of directors. If it is a huge company with a lot of board of directors, and they're going to mention that on the size of the company, but who are the people who are sitting on the board is very important. So if someone can be a founder, for example, even an owner, but not sit on the board also, that's possible. So you have to look at this factor also, That's in factor number 6 that they put in here. Now factor number 7, the number of employees. So more employees you have, better are your chance to get it done, even if the alien relative, we're calling alien here the people who basically the PERM is being applied for, the labor certification. So if there are more employees, then the chances are higher to get an approval notice. Now then, the other thing that is very important is, just because there are a lot of employees, you need to still go back to the previous factors of influence. Now number 8, the qualifications. What are the qualifications to be in this job, and if there are any kind of unusual job duties in there in the applications. Very important, because as you know, for example, in this case that we use here, the Tyrell case, it's the person was speaking Japanese. So but remember, language is not unless it's a business necessity, you cannot really prove that, and if you don't prove that that you need that person, you'll have a problem. And again, here is a necessity issue. Is it so inseparable from the sponsoring employer because of he or her pervasive presence and personal attributes that the employer would be unlikely to continue in operation without the alien? So basically, how important is that person? For example, you can be related, but if there's no choice, that person is a unique kind of applicant, and you cannot get as many people or other people to replace, then that's another factor. Just to let you know, those are the 9 factors they have listed. Anything I'm telling you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. Good luck to you. If you have questions, 510-742-5887. Subscribe to our YouTube if you like it. I will update it on a daily basis. Thank you.